It starts small. You change your tone so they won't be upset. You hold back your truth so they'll stay. You say yes when your body screams no. Slowly, you begin to vanish. Not all at once, but in pieces. A word, a decision, a silence that wasn't yours to hold. The monk knows this too. He lived it. Until one day he asked, "What would my life look like if it belonged to me again?" This isn't about rebellion. It's about return. Return to your center, your choice, your voice. Because letting go of control starts by reclaiming what you gave away without even noticing. Teaching. 1. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. The monk doesn't carry the moods of others like a burden on his back. He feels compassion, not control. You've spent years walking on eggshells, twisting your truth so no one else feels discomfort. But here's the truth. You are not their protector if it costs you your peace. Their reactions, not yours to fix. Their projections, not yours to absorb. You can care without carrying. You can love without losing yourself. Teaching 2. Saying no is not selfish. It's sacred. The monk doesn't say yes to preserve an image. He says yes only when it honors his truth. You've been taught that to be kind, you must be available. That to be loved, you must be agreeable. But real kindness includes boundaries, and real love survives honesty. When you say no, you're not pushing someone away. You're inviting yourself closer. Each time you choose alignment over approval, you reclaim a piece of yourself. So next time your body tightens, your gut hesitates, your breath shortens, listen. The wisdom is already there. The courage, that comes with practice. And peace, that comes with every no that protects your yes. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing and tapping the bell to continue walking this path of calm, conscious living. You don't owe anyone your exhaustion. You don't have to dim your light so others feel comfortable in their shadow. The monk once confused silence with peace until he realized his silence was fear wearing a mask. Peace isn't found in saying nothing. It's found in saying what's real, with clarity, with care, and without apology. Each time you abandon yourself for someone else's comfort, you teach your soul that it's less important. But not today. Today, you pause. You notice. You choose differently. Not from anger, from awareness. And that shift, however small, is the beginning of freedom. Teaching 3. People don't control you. Your fear of losing them does. The monk sat with this truth. No one truly holds power over you unless you hand it to them out of fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. But fear is a poor compass. You followed it for safety, but it led you further from yourself. So ask gently, am I agreeing because it feels right? Or because I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't? Freedom doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop sacrificing your truth to keep the peace outside while waging war inside. And the more you choose inner peace over outer approval, the more you remember, no one owns your choices, but you. You've built entire versions of yourself to keep others happy. The agreeable one, the quiet one, the one who never makes things uncomfortable. But the monk realized, you cannot be free if your peace depends on other people's approval. Because the moment someone's opinion becomes your compass, you've already lost your direction. So sit with this. You don't need everyone to like you. You only need one person to be honest with you, and that person is you. When you stop molding yourself to fit expectations, you begin remembering who you were before the world taught you to be smaller than your soul. You are not here to keep others comfortable. You are here to live fully, freely, truthfully. Teaching. 4. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with handles only on your side. The monk doesn't shut people out. He simply decides who gets to walk in and under what conditions. You were taught that love means saying yes, even when it costs you your energy. But real love respects limits. A boundary is not a rejection. It's a declaration. I know what I need. I trust myself enough to ask for it. Some won't like it. Some will call it selfish. But remember, the ones who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always resist your growth. And that resistance? It's not your burden. It's their lesson. You're allowed to love people without shrinking for them. And each time you say no with grace, you build a deeper yes to yourself. You've confused being agreeable with being kind. But the monk learned, kindness without truth becomes self-betrayal. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you chip away at your inner clarity. And clarity is sacred. Because when you're clear inside, you stop being pulled around by what's outside. It's not your job to be who they expect. It's your calling to be who you are. Let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Even the Buddha was misunderstood. Peace is not found in perfect perception. It's found in honest presence. So show up honestly, even if your voice shakes, even if not everyone claps, because the peace that follows truth is louder than any applause you'll ever miss. Teaching 5. You don't need control over others. You need clarity within yourself. The monk stopped trying to manage the reactions of the world. He learned to master one thing, his response. Because the moment you try to control how others think, feel, or see you, you lose sight of yourself. You try to please them, prove something, protect their comfort. But clarity says, I am not for everyone. I am only responsible for my intention, not their interpretation. That's not arrogance. That's liberation. And the clearer you become about who you are, what matters, and where you stand, the less you'll feel the need to bend. Not out of resistance, out of rootedness. You don't reclaim your power by controlling others. You reclaim it by no longer needing their approval to feel whole. The monk isn't moved by praise or blame, not because he's detached, but because he's anchored. When someone tries to shame him, he bows. When someone misunderstands him, he smiles. Because his peace doesn't depend on their perception, and neither does yours. You can still be kind without being passive, still be compassionate without being controlled. The world may not always understand your boundaries, your silence, your clarity, but your soul will, and that's who you answer to. Teaching 6. You are not responsible for their story about you. The monk doesn't chase reputation. He chases alignment, because he knows, no matter how honest you are, some will still twist your truth to match their comfort. You can speak with kindness and still be called cold. You can walk away peacefully and still be painted as cruel. But that story, it belongs to them, not to you. You are not here to convince everyone of your goodness. You are here to live in integrity, even when it's misunderstood. Let them think what they need. You focus on what you know. Your peace does not depend on being seen clearly by others. It depends on seeing yourself clearly and choosing truth anyway. You've exhausted yourself trying to explain, justify, soften. But the monk learned, truth doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be lived. Every time you over-explain, you abandon a piece of yourself in hopes someone else will validate it. But your peace is not built on someone else's permission. You can let them misunderstand you. You can let the silence speak louder than the defense. Because your truth is not an argument, it is a presence. And once you stand in it, fully, quietly, firmly, the need to be understood starts to fall away. And what remains is freedom. Teaching 7. Control doesn't come from strength, it comes from fear. The monk once tried to control others to feel safe, but he learned, true safety is not created by controlling the world. It's created by trusting yourself within it. People who try to control you are often afraid to lose you, afraid to lose power, afraid to face themselves. So don't confuse their pressure with your obligation. You are not here to manage their fear. You are here to meet your own with clarity. And the more you return to yourself, your values, your breath, your truth, the less they can shake you. Not because they've changed, but because you have. You've remembered. Your center is not outside of you. It never was. You don't need to raise your voice to reclaim your power. The monk doesn't shout. He doesn't argue. He simply doesn't leave himself anymore. When someone tries to guilt him, he breathes. When someone tries to pull him off center, he stays. Because presence is louder than any reaction. You've spent so long proving your worth, you forgot it was never up for debate. You are allowed to say, I hear you, and I still choose me. You are allowed to say, this isn't about you, it's about my peace. This is not arrogance, it's clarity. And each time you choose peace over performance, you become more unshakable. Teaching 8. The moment you stop asking for permission, you begin reclaiming your life. The monk doesn't wait for others to understand his path. He walks it, with quiet conviction. You've asked, is it okay if I choose myself? Will they still love me if I say no? But here's the truth. Your life doesn't require permission slips. It requires presence. Not everyone will clap when you stop shrinking. Not everyone will stay when you stop bending. But the ones who truly love you, they will adjust. They will grow with you. Or they will step aside to make space for your wholeness. And either way, you win. Because the life you're meant to live doesn't begin with them. It begins with you. Part 16. You've spent years being who others needed you to be. But the monk learned, you don't owe anyone the version of you that keeps them comfortable. You owe yourself truth. You owe yourself alignment. You owe yourself freedom. And freedom doesn't always look like peace. Sometimes it looks like silence, distance, the quiet courage of walking away. There is a cost to pretending, and eventually your soul will ask for a refund. So let it come. Let the truth interrupt the role you've been playing. Let the real you be louder than the one they expect. Because control ends when authenticity begins. And when you finally stand as who you are, you stop needing to be managed. Teaching 9. You are not difficult. You are becoming clear. The monk was once called too much, too distant, too silent. But what they really meant was, you no longer bend for me. Clarity threatens those who benefit from your confusion. When you stop explaining, they call you cold. When you stop apologizing, they say you've changed. And they're right. You have. You've changed the rules. You've changed the weight you're willing to carry. So next time someone says, you're different, say, I'm aligned. You're not difficult. You're just no longer available for manipulation disguised as love. And that is the beginning of peace. You don't have to convince anyone that your peace matters. The monk doesn't ask for approval before choosing silence. He doesn't explain why he steps back. He simply does, because peace is reason enough. You've wasted energy justifying your distance, your boundaries, your truth. But the right people won't need a paragraph to understand your sentence. They'll feel your honesty in the quiet. They'll recognize your shift not as rebellion, but as return. Return to self. Return to sanity. Return to simplicity. When you stop over-explaining, you start reclaiming energy that was always yours. And in that stillness, clarity grows. Teaching 10. The greatest control is self-control, the ability to stay with yourself. The monk no longer reacts to every trigger, every opinion, every pull. He stays. He breathes. He watches. He returns to himself. Because true freedom is not in controlling others. It's in mastering your own presence when everything tries to pull you away. You've given others power by leaving yourself every time something got uncomfortable. But now you know. You can pause. You can stay. Even when misunderstood. Even when challenged. You can choose stillness instead of defense. You can choose silence without fear. And in that stillness, you remember, no one can control you if you refuse to abandon yourself. Freedom doesn't come all at once. It comes in quiet choices. A pause before replying, a breath before bending, a truth spoken softly but firmly. The monk didn't wake up unshakable. He became that way by returning to himself again and again when the world tried to pull him away. And now, so do you. Not by pushing people away, but by standing with yourself. Not by shouting no, but by whispering, enough. This is not the end of the path. It's the beginning of remembering who you were before you needed to be pleasing. So ask yourself, who or what have you given power to? And what would it look like to take it back? Drop your answer in the comments. Someone else may read your words and remember their